Have you ever played a computer game on cheat mode? By putting in a secret code, you unlock additional powers which help you complete the level that you're on. I mean, it just gives you great satisfaction. It also allows you to complete the game quicker than you would normally. But are cheat modes restricted to computer games only? I would say no. And cricket is the reason why. You see, I'm a huge cricket fan, having played a lot of cricket growing up, representing Somerset County up until the age of 17. I follow England religiously in all formats of the game. I mean, there are three predominant ones: T20, ODIs, which are one-day internationals, and test matches, which has led to both euphoric highs and some depressing lows. Now we are very much in an upward trajectory, which is a great thing. The long form of the game, which takes place over 5 days, has had a recent change in personnel. The ex-New Zealand cricket captain Bren has taken over as England Test coach, and the legend that is Ben Stokes has taken on the captaincy. This in itself is not unusual. We've had many overseas coaches, and superstars have been captains. So why is this different? Well, it can all be put down to the ethos the team has adopted. It is just all-out aggression. In the sporting sense, obviously. A play to win, not a play to lose mentality. In the last year, it has been quite simply a revelation to watch. I mean, England have beaten some of the world's best sides, comprehensively scoring big fast runs and taking wickets consistently, bowling sides out. Now, this new approach, instilled by the team by the coach and captain, has been amazing to watch. So much so it's earned the nickname Bazball, which in my view is an unflattering word for some incredible crash bang wallop style of cricket. Brendan McCullum's nickname is Baz, by the way. Even in the most established cricket circles, these people have been taken back by the absolute force of nature that's been instilled in the team. I mean, Sir Alistair Cook, one of England's greatest ever batsmen and ex-England captain, commented on Johnny Bairstow's innings against New Zealand recently when he said, "Watching Johnny's innings is like playing Brian Lara cricket on cheat mode. It just looks so easy." It was a fabulously accurate description. And yes, I loved playing Brian Lara cricket when I was younger too. So this got me thinking, can we adopt a cheat mode for being a leader in our career too? Sometimes leadership can seem so overwhelming, though there are some leadership hacks that make it simpler than it first appears. In many ways, great leaders master some of these very basic things that other people miss. I mean, I'll be upfront here and say some of the hacks that you think of might well say, well, that's pretty obvious. But to be honest, that's the point. You can have a PhD in leadership and read everything there is on leadership and still be non-effective or, to be honest, quite crap. And yet there are leaders who have very little formal education but who lead powerfully and effectively every day. Often these leaders gain influence because they have mastered a few basic skills that others miss. And now that organisations have adopted a hybrid working model, which is a mixture of remote and in-office working, these skills are becoming ever more important. With that in mind, here are 6 of my absolute favourite leadership hacks, read skills, that are far too easy to overlook. Own them and you will become a much more effective leader. Number 1, don't be the hero. Now, I would say very few of us have a healthy relationship with ourselves. I mean, this comes from having the type of honesty that really hurts. Asking questions such as, what are we good at? What are we not good at? What do we really need to work on? The problem is that in a leadership position, it is too easy to focus on I. I mean, this is what narcissists do. They make it all about themselves. But by focusing on themselves, they exert insecurities they have on other people. You've probably seen this in meetings, for example, so there's usually a loudmouth that just wants to keep on talking. They think they know everything, so they hog the conversation. Simply put, they don't want to give anyone else any airtime. If we know this is going to happen though, how do we escape the trap of narcissistic individuals? Well, just make someone else the hero. If you're the leader, make your team member the hero. The method by which you build people up is through adopting a growth mindset. That just means you accept you don't know it all and are willing to learn new things, or be corrected on old incorrect assumptions. From a personal perspective, I want to help you grow as a person at work. I mean, I want you to succeed. This is why I fully embrace the infinite game approach to business. My sole purpose is to leave the company I work for in a better state than when I found it. If you want to learn more about not playing your career by the wrong rules, check out Simon Sinek's book here. I'll put the link in the description below. So think about it. If we go on the assumption that you and I love leaders who point beyond themselves, why not be that leader? This is about sidestepping the ego, the insecurities we all have, and making someone else the hero. It works. Every single time. Number 2, do what you say. I don't have kids, but if I did, there would be one piece of advice I'd want them to remember. Do what you say you're going to do when you say you're going to do it. I mean, let's be honest, if you do this, it will put you ahead of probably 99% of people on this planet. Think back over the last week. Who frustrated you most? I'm willing to bet it's probably the people who didn't do what they said they were going to do when they said they were going to do it. Oh man, even thinking about it now is annoying. So, in a work context, bring the same question, the one that's frustrated you most, back to the people that you lead. If I put you on the spot and said, who are you most likely to promote, reward well, hang out with? I reckon, in fact, I'm willing to bet £1 that it's the people who do what they say they're going to do when they say they're going to do it. So why is leadership any different? Short answer, it isn't. The leadership hack of doing what you said you were going to do when you said you were going to do it is the basis of trust. It's also the basis for confidence. Trust is what you need to build within your teams because this leads to confidence in you as a leader. Now don't get me wrong, it's not easy, and yes, I still get it wrong sometimes, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't accept it. I try really hard not to be that guy. So what do you do if you struggle in this area? Just stop promising and start delivering. Small steps produce big results if repeated consistently over a prolonged period of time. Taking the cheesy phrase, you can talk the talk but you can't walk the walk, this is a great accountability hack too. When your walk catches up to what your talk would have been, you can reintroduce your talk. Number 3, outcomes, not processes. Okay, I'll be honest here, this one is one that I battle with, but it can be very helpful. Because many a guru will tell you it's all about the journey and not the destination. I mean, it's axiomatic, but these days to say that the journey is more important than the destination. But not always. I mean, really, come on. What fun is the journey if you end up going nowhere with any meaning? Don't believe me? How do you feel about this? If you ask a colleague, friend or family member, has this super important thing been done? And they reply with, yeah, well, I emailed them. Or, she never got back to me. Or, well, I called 5 times. Or, I think they must have changed their address or something. Isn't this infuriating? They feel like the project after action is complete because they tried. Now, there's a big difference between knowing and doing. And trying isn't the same as doing either. So taking a moment of self-reflection, perhaps I wasn't clear enough in that situation and should have asked, I'm not sure you heard the question, but it was, has it been done, not did you try? I'm sure it wouldn't go down very well, but that's really what we're asking. That's why a leadership hack is to stop focusing on the process and start focusing on outcomes. When you focus on outcomes, you eventually stop emailing people who never return emails and take action to get the task complete. This could be through calling them, visiting them, or getting someone to help you. I mean, if you focus on outcomes, you'll also have a shot mastering number 2. If you don't, you never will. And getting things done actually makes the journey more enjoyable, well, at least in my view. If you want some help in getting things done, check out the book called Get Things Done. It's an absolute cracker, and again, I'll put a link in the description below. Number 4, look them in the eye. This shouldn't need to be stated, but I'll say it anyway. Have you ever noticed how many people don't look at you when talking? I mean, this may be a shyness thing or an insecurity thing, but either way, it's really hard to make someone the sole focus of your attention if you don't look them in the eye. The people side of things is something that I'm hugely passionate about, and with a high EQ, I'm acutely attuned to. I mean, in the modern world, there are so many demands on our attention, it is easy to become distracted by a smartphone notification, a noise outside, or perhaps another electrical device. I try desperately hard to not let my focus drift when interacting with someone, especially in my team. Time is the most precious resource we have, so it needs the respect it deserves. And this starts with focusing on who's in front of you and looking them in the eye. I mean, there's nothing better than feeling truly heard. Not just listening, but being really heard. The most effective leaders look someone in the eye when they talk, so sometimes in a conversation and I hear the voice in my head just saying, keep looking at them in the eye, keep looking at them, stay focused. It all helps. But here's a tip. If you struggle to remain focused when talking to someone, position yourself against or facing, a blank wall. Not the door, not the window or the TV. Otherwise, we can instinctively look at whatever is moving. So watch for it. The very best leaders look you in the eye and make you feel the sole focus of attention. Practice that this week. Number 5, do your homework. There's a tendency to think that when we've left school, the homework stops. But I would argue this is incorrect. The real learning starts when you leave school. Some say when you start the University of Life, which is a cheesy phrase, but we all know what it means. A few years ago, I made a conscious decision to go from avoiding being a know-it-all and instead focusing on becoming a lifelong learn-it-all. The switch in focus means I accept that I don't know everything. There are areas I need to brush up on, areas I need to learn, and therefore need to keep learning. This is a skill many senior leaders and execs forget. They have the incorrect belief they need to know everything and have all the answers. This is plain wrong in my opinion. You see, as a leader, it is your responsibility to be the best that you can, and that means adding to your knowledge bank. There are heaps of great resources such as the Harvard Business Review, which cover many aspects of leadership, so there really is no excuse. Number 6, say cheese. Cheese. Everyone has a default expression. It could be an RBF, a smirk or a frown. I mean, this is not right or wrong, it's just fact. It's hard to know what yours is unless you ask, because you never see yourself as others see you. I mean, I learned a few years ago that my default facial expression can be a little bit nondescript. Meaning if I'm concentrating, you'll see me frown and look indecidedly bemused. Apparently I forgot to tell my face to relax when I'm concentrating. Although I'm relaxed, I tend to look uptight and a bit annoyed when queuing or surrounded by complete inefficiencies. So, for someone that leads you, how is their expression? I know that when I walk into a room, especially where I'm one of the most senior people there, it is important to have a facial expression that puts people at ease. To be frank, it's not always possible. Things could go wrong. I might have a lot on my mind or simply having a bad day, but how others see you in those first few moments is super important. One of the easiest things we can do is all smile more. When greeting someone, flash those pearly whites, show some warmth, and be welcoming. Smiling puts people at ease, if nothing else. But it makes a huge difference. Apparently the leadership guru Michael Hyatt has a similar issue and outlines it in a post that he wrote recently, and again, I'll put a link in the description below. The takeaway? Let's smile more. It puts everyone at ease and is always a good thing. And that's it. These are the 6 tips to help you crack your leadership skills, fast track your career, and ultimately make you a much better leader. But with that in mind, would you let me know how you've got on with fast tracking your leadership career in the comments below? I'd love to hear from you. But do you want to know the 8 leadership tips for introverted leaders? Well, if you do, check out this video here because I think you'll find it super useful. But with that, have a great day and I'll see you all in the next video. Cheers.